Okay, so we're diving deep today into some predictions about the year 2029.
Mm,
And let me tell you, it paints a pretty wild picture.
it
A
does.
world where, like, the whole balance of power has been totally shaken up.
Yeah, yeah, totally.
Geopolitics, like, completely flipped on its head.
Yeah,
The way
exactly.
countries interact, the way they compete, all different.
Right.
And the source material we've been digging into suggests that, like, the epicenter of all this change
Mm.
is actually the West, like, starting with the United States.
Interesting.
Yeah, so apparently, the U.S. starts facing some serious economic problems.
Okay.
And we're not talking just like a little recession or something.
Right.
It's like full-on hyperinflation to the
Wow.
tune of 50%.
50%,
50% inflation. Can you imagine?
That's massive.
That's insane. Like, prices doubling on everything.
Yeah, you go to the grocery store, your bill's twice as high.
Exactly. Your savings are worth half as much. Like,
Exactly.
it's a nightmare scenario.
Yeah, the middle class would be absolutely crushed.
Totally. And on top of that, the source claims they've got these like super high tariffs, like 75% across the board.
Wow, so basically cutting themselves off from global trade.
Yeah, it's like they just kind of slam the door on the global economy.
Yeah, that kind of protectionism, it rarely works out well in the long run.
No, it usually backfires.
Yeah, it hurts everyone involved.
And that's not all right.
Oh, there's more.
The source also claims that the U.S. was like intentionally stirring the pot in Europe.
Really?
Yeah, they were meddling in European politics, specifically in Germany.
Interesting.
They were backing this specific political party, the Alternative for Germany.
Oh, I've heard of them. They're pretty controversial.
Yeah, they're like a very nationalist, right-wing populist party.
Right.
And their rise to power causes a ton of like internal conflict in the EU.
Yeah, I could see how that would happen.
Like it's basically driving a wedge between European countries,
Exact.
making them weaker and more divided.
And you know who benefits from a weakened and divided Europe?
Russia. And that's where things get really scary because, the source claims that Russia seizes this opportunity and just annexes Ukraine.
No way.
Yeah, they roll in with their tanks basically unopposed after this like demilitarization agreement falls apart.
Oh, wow. So it's like a total collapse of the European security order.
Yeah, basically it's like someone hit the fast forward button on all these geopolitical shifts.
And things got messy fast.
Super messy. And meanwhile, on the other side of the world,
Yeah.
China's watching all of this unfold, and they're like,
Here's our child.
exactly. They move in on Taiwan's swift takeover.
Wow.
They now control a massive chunk of the global microchip production.
Oh, that's huge. Think about the implications for technology.
I know, right? Like suddenly your smartphone, your computer, all those things could become like luxury items.
Because the supply chains are disrupted.
Totally. And it's not just gadgets either. It's like everything runs on microchips these days.
From cars to medical equipment.
Exactly. So China basically has a chokehold on the global economy.
Yeah, it's a massive power shift.
Okay, so we've got geopolitical tension, economic collapse.
Right.
But the source doesn't stop there.
Oh, no.
It throws in another twist, robot armies.
Robot army.
Yeah, and get this, it's Elon Musk and his Tesla robots that are at the center of it all.
So the guy who's supposed to be, like, saving the world with electric cars?
Right, is now supplying the world with robot soldiers.
It's kind of ironic.
Totally. So the source says there are like 500 million Tesla robots sold worldwide.
500 million?
And half of them are armed.
Wow, so we're talking about a massive autonomous military force.
Yeah, basically, and the source specifically mentions that Russia is using these robots in their military.
So they're using them to further their expansionist goals?
Potentially, yeah, and they even hint at the possibility of Russia using them to invade the Baltic states.
Oh, wow, that would be a major escalation.
Yeah, and that's where things get really unsettling because, we're talking about artificial intelligence,
Right.
machines making decisions about life and death.
It's a scary thought.
Totally, like what happens if they malfunction or get hacked?
Exactly who's responsible for their actions.
It's a Pandora's box.
It really
But amidst all this chaos, the source does hint at some glimmers of hope.
Okay, I need some good news right now.
Yeah, so apparently people aren't just taking this lying down.
Good.
Assistance movements start popping up, new alliances form.
That's like a global reset button almost.
Yeah, like the old world order is crumbling and something new is emerging from the ashes.
Wow, it's a lot to take in.
It is. It's a wild vision of 2029.
Yeah.
Economic turmoil, shifting alliances, and technology that could be both a blessing and a curse.
Absolutely.
So, listener, we've given you a lot to think about today.
We have.
But here's the big question. What would you do if you woke up in this world?
Yeah.
How would you react? What role would you play in shaping this uncertain future?
It's a question worth pondering.
It really is.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here.
It's been a fascinating discussion.
It really has.
Until next time.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye. CCTI.